Hey YouTube, Awesome Rider here. Welcome to my review for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Master Morpher. If you didn't know, this was the morpher used by Tommy in the Dimensions in Danger Anniversary crossover episode that allowed him to use all his previous power coins and Ranger forms. It also appeared in the Soul of the Dragon comic, which is like the last canon storyline for Tommy in terms of like the latest in the timeline. So let's go ahead and get started. I just wanted to highlight the box just because there's some cool stuff about the box. I mean, like, the colors on it look rather generic. I can see they're trying to blend, like, green and white or whatever, but you just have a picture of the morpher. We have a pretty cool, like, cel-shaded, like, picture art of JDF there. One of the cool things I liked, though, was, like, the little helmets they have represented on here. You have all of his different Ranger forms, you know, green, red, ninja even, as well as the Black Ranger, which I just thought was a pretty cool little detail on there. You got the same art on the side here, and then on the back, just showcasing what you can do and how the display works and all that jazz. I'll bring you in the actual event. You can see it is on one of those stands, just like the regular morpher, which I really like. You know, it's not like the most expensive feeling stand, but you have this back piece here that you can have it kind of worn like a little bit of a belt buckle and it comes off. And then you have this display stand, which just kind of looks like generic cheap rock. And then there's a little Pokemon Stadium up there. You can see there. I do really like it though. I think it just is a cool way to display it, and it doesn't look the best, but it doesn't look that cheap, and I just really dig the way they do handle that. And you can see you have all of his individual coins there. They even included the Ninja Falcon one, which we don't see physically in the show. He does use the Falcon Zord power, but when he does that, he still has like the main White Ranger coin, and I don't recall them showing like the physical Falcon coin. I think that they just in-universe rolled all of the powers for the White Ranger into the one, but I'm not mad they included it. I think it's actually really cool. It gives a more comprehensive kind of tribute to his character, which I'm really happy about, especially, you know, since we're on a hiatus and we might not ever get anything like Ninja coins. But just looking at the coins, you know, in the initial pictures when this kind of leaked, they looked cheaper for some reason, but they're not really. They do feel solid. They're solid metal, and like they look good in person. They kind of go for that more darker gold, not like the weathered look, but kind of in between the really darker weathered ones and the bright and shiny ones that we got here for like the Power Morpher, which went for more of like the toy look. So they do look good in my opinion. I think in the show they are more like bright, but you know, that never bothers me that much just because we've gotten so many different iterations where they can't decide what they want the coins to look like. I've kind of just given up at this point, but I'm happy that they do feel and look solid. I don't have any of my other legacy ones like on hand like readily, so I will just put up a couple comparison pictures of past legacy releases as well as, you know, one from the show just so you can get an idea, and I'll do that for a couple of them just so you can have that, well, idea. And this one I know got like a legacy release with the Falcon, but I think they overall do look good. I mean, I know there's going to be some people that are going to harp on the accuracy, and it would be nice for it to be a little bit more accurate, but you know, for me, they're fine for what they are. Well, that was close. What they are. I can't remember. I think that the Zeo one did have a little bit more of a gem quality to it. I can't remember. I feel like at least one of the prop masters did it. Nonetheless, though, it's really cool, especially to have these. I mean, I have multiple versions of all the mmpr coins for various reasons, and I know some prop makers have done some really good versions of this, but just I never, you know, usually get into those too much outside of the communicators back in the day. But just having like power coins for the Zeo powers and the Turbo powers and the Dino Thunder powers is really cool. It was such a cool idea, and it's cool to have them in person. I think in particular, I mean, like the Zeo one is just a cool idea. Like I like the idea that it's a sliver of the Zeo crystal or something, and the symbol on Dino Thunder is like oddly enough fits very well and is very reminiscent of both green and white's coins. Let's pop this open real quick and you can take a look at green. Shh, quiet, I'm trying to talk. And then here we have green, you know, very classic looking. Again, I'll put up a couple pictures of some comparisons and whatnot. But then you have the morpher itself, obviously, which takes on much more of a shine compared to like this one here. Again, is more that brushed silver, similar to the original toy, and this is much more of that sort of chrome painting. You know, it is accurate actually. I would say that this overall, I don't know if it's exactly 1-to-1 size, but in terms of the look of it, if you look at behind the scenes photos or, you know, photos from the actual episode, it does have that shine compared to that more duller gold that some of the main morpher release has. And also, it's very similar to the like original like gold-plated green and white Ranger morpher release they did for like it was a Comic-Con exclusive back in the day with Bandai, which is neat. So I'm overall happy with the look of it, to be honest with you. It doesn't feel the most expensive. It does feel lighter and cheaper than like the legacy ones because that was die-cast. But in terms of just the look of it, like the morpher sitting there with all the coins, it looked like a good collectible and one that I'm very happy to own, which I'll get into more at the end. So basically, you just put the coins in, and then you open it up, it makes a little bit of flashy noises, and then you get a handful of different phrases depending on which Ranger form you choose. And they are all recorded by JDF. Some of them are from the show, Some of them, not so much, and we'll talk about that a little bit more as well. And so when you open it there, you do get some nice lights there, and it does have different LED lights for like red and stuff like that. I think there's like a purpley one for black. So there's like these little notches here, and you want to line them up, and it can be kind of difficult sometimes. Honestly, some of them are kind of a tight fit, like a Toyga. But you put it in there, and I do want to note there has been a couple times. See, now you can see it's glowing green for Green Ranger. Unagi, I knew that. I have had a couple times where I've put it in and it read the wrong one. In fact, out of the box, the first one I put in was green, and it was like, Zeo Ranger V Red. I'm like, I wonder why it was red. I'm like, is it because he's evil? So, reset.
Dragon Sword.
So, like, that's obviously something from the show.
1993, it's morphin' time.
Yeah, that totally, he said that all the time.
Sometimes, the original is the best.
I do agree, Klaus is pretty cool.
Dragon Sword power now! It's morphin' time! Green Ranger power now! Dragon Sword! 1993, it's morphin' time!
And they're actually seeming, if he says, hold on.
Sometimes, the original
It does seem to go in order in that one, but they did mention, like, it was random on the live stream. They're like, it's supposed to be random, but those go in order, so I don't know what's going on there.
Now, I just need Saba and the gangs back together.
Oh yeah, that was his famous catchphrase. He said that all the time. I used to say that to my friends.
It's it! Tiger style. Alright, Saba, let's do it! Ooh, tiger style!
Okay, that's another just classic Tommy catchphrase from Earth 2.
Tiger power! Isa! White Ranger, tiger power! Now, I just need Saba and the gangs back together.
It's so weird. It's like a mix of like just normal generic phrases you would hear, and then stuff like that, like the Saba's back together and the tiger style. It's like stuff that they think he would say, or like glimpses into alternate Earths where he had weird catchphrases.
Let's do it, guys! Ninja Ranger power! Falcon Sword now! Ancient powers of the ninjas gonna take you down. White Ranger, Falcon Sword! Power up! Let's do it, guys! Ninja Ranger power! Falcon Sword now! You're in for a surprise.
That first one sounds like he's making fun of his own Cheops.
It's time for the original to show you how it's done.
He says, as his third iteration.
Zeo Ranger V Red! Time to show you how it's done. It's morphin' time! Crystal-powered morpher, Zeo 5, activate! Zeo Ranger V, now! You're in for a surprise.
Alright, time to shift into turbo. It's turbo time! Now, I'm really disappointed this doesn't have phrases from Jingle All the Way. Like, I was hoping the first one was, put the cookie down, now!
Can't slow down the Turbo Red Ranger. Red Lightning, turbo power, now! Alright guys, shift to the turbo. Nothing's gonna slow me down. Ready? Let's do it. Shift to the turbo. Can't slow down the Turbo Red Ranger.
Alright, and last but certainly not least, he may be old, but he can still pull it off. I love that little Dino Gem sounding thing. I don't know if that was purposeful, but I like it.
Oliver, PhD.
That's gotta be my favorite one. It's like glimpses into an alternate Earth where that was his catchphrase.
Dino Thunder Black Ranger. Dr. O, coming right at you.
Another classic catchphrase.
Brachial power, now.
Still can't believe he's a doctor.
All right, Cheeseball. Dino Thunder Black Ranger.
That's part of his roll call always.
Brachial power, coming in. It's it. First of all, never call me dude. It's Oliver. Tommy Oliver, PhD.
Oh my god.
Dino Thunder Black Ranger.
I feel like that has some of the most phrases, and there's a chance I missed a few here and there, but I think I got most of them. But as you can see, it's very weird in a way. It really is in terms of what they decided to do. Like, some of them is stuff like, you know...
Don't worry. This is a good kind of green.
There we go. There's one we missed. But as you can see, like, it's a mix of phrases like he did say, like Red Lightning Turbo Power, you know, Dino Thunder Black Ranger. That's pretty simple. Like, you could, even if you didn't know the show, would get that. But there's some that are legitimately from the show. But there's some really weird ones, like about the stuff of Saba and the gang and Dr. O, PhD. That's admittedly really funny. I also find the Turbo one to be really funny, because it's like phrases they thought, like, what was car theme? They probably said fast stuff, right? Or like the Tiger style. So it was done in a way that was like phrases that you could probably just accidentally stumble upon that were generic, and also ones that felt like either they were just basically going off looking at the suits, or were just using the most generic ideas possible. Like, if they couldn't think of a lot of quotes, I don't mind them wanting to fill it out with certain things, but it's definitely weird. And there, I think, missed opportunities for some lines. Like, I think it would have been cool to have Dino Thunders have the maybe old, but I could still pull it off. As many have pointed out, how did you miss the opportunity for, like, if you don't have a Master Morpher, you're nothing but a cheap copy. But it doesn't bother me that much, to be honest. It's more funny, if anything. Like, it is disappointing in a way that there's, like, this really, like, feel of, like, corporate just didn't care of, like, oh, we'll just make up some phrases. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm really glad we got this. I think it's a very good-looking Morpher. It's a Morpher I've wanted for a long time. I'm, like, so glad to have it in general. I don't think it's awful at all. I think it's really great that we have JDF's voice in there, which I think is cool in general, instead of just getting a weird sound-alike, although admittedly a version with Trent would be hilarious. But especially after his passing, it takes on extra meaning, so it makes, like, a little bit of extra bias that, like, in general, I just really wanted this, but the fact that it's some of the last stuff he recorded as Tommy gives it meaning. I'm not saying that you should buy it because of that, but I think it's worth considering and glossing over the problems that are ultimately not that bad, because it does include a great deal of phrases that are actually from the show. And honestly, I just get a kick out of the ones that are funny and stupid. Like, would I rather all be cool phrases that were real from the show? Sure, but all the Dr. Oliver PhD stuff is quite hilarious, to be honest with you. And I really like stuff like they included the Falcon in there, so it's like a complete set. So honestly, if you're remotely interested in this, I recommend checking it out if it's still available, because it's something we might not get in any form for a while. It has kind of meaningful sentimental history, and to be honest, people are like really buying up and scalping JDF stuff, so if you want to get your hands on it, I would go ahead and go for it. And I'm, you know, warts and all, I'm personally happy with it. I have a lot of fun with it. That's about it for this one, though, guys. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get notifications for my videos. The Awesome Writer, signing out.